Good morning, everybody. Oh, you just took a picture of me as I came on. How
I
great is
just
that?
missed it.
This is an exciting day. This is the Real Estate Talk TGIF. This is episode 309. My name is Dave Finale. This has been so much fun to do this over the last almost 6 years. This is episode 309, and it is used to be 3, now it's 305 in a row because we've done 4 extra broadcasts, and we're on a great roll now. We've had some really fun people on. We've had Lisa Copeland, we had John Pugh. Saturday we had John Sheplack, Lindsay Stevens before that, and today we have the one, the only, the woman, the myth, the legend, Gogo Bethke. Gogo, thank you so much for coming on today. This is really cool.
Thank you so much for having me. It was super cool to have that little discussion of what we talked about 4 years ago, because I'm like, I wonder where I was 4 years ago.
So we were on 4 years ago. It's episode 116. Please look it up, everybody. If you'd like to see what we did back then, is on the YouTube channel, Real Estate Talk TGIF. And you did it. I don't know if it was in your kitchen, but there was a great array of, let's say, liquor behind you.
Oh,
right?
It was in our basement in our Michigan house.
In your bar or whatever. But that was really cool. I thought that was really exciting because actually I should be doing that in front of my bar. I think I will from now on. But anyway, that's beside the point. We talked about a lot of great things. We talked about how you came, why you came here and everything. We just went through that. That's really cool. So we're going to hit some of that stuff too. But before we get started, Nelson, hit the videotape. Real estate agents, are you looking to acquire clients consistently to grow your business and income for a great lifestyle? Well, this is Dave Finale, and I'm here to bring you the Real Estate Skill Builder broadcast, Real Estate Talk TGIF, brought to you by Real Estate Skill Builder and the Modern Agent team. And welcome back, everybody. Here we are, Real Estate Talk TGIF, episode 309, 305 weeks in a row. This broadcast is brought to you by njheroesprogram.com, which is the way we give back to our heroes, and heroes are defined in many different ways. Go to njheroesprogram.com to see if you qualify. We'd be glad to help you buy or sell any real estate anywhere in the world, because we can do that because we are so special and we are eXp Realty. But anyway, here we are with Gogo Bethke. Gogo, it's great to have you here. You're such you're a well-known person in our company, as well as well-known in the real estate industry for a lot of reasons, and we'll get into some of that. But before we start, I do have a question I have to ask you, and I ask everybody that comes on this broadcast. So let's see how good you are. What does TGIF stand for?
Thank God it's Friday.
You're really close. You know what? I hate to tell people they're wrong, but I kind of do that 9 out of 10 times. Even John Sheplack got it wrong, but he thought it was really good. But thank God it's finale. You know,
I should have.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. Look, and here's the thing. I didn't call it TGIF because it was Friday, because I called it TGIF last Saturday when Shep was on. Anyway, that's beside the point. Here we are. We're going to have some.
It threw me off because it is Friday, right? It's Friday today.
It is Friday. Yes, that is. Well, it was a trick question. There's I get it. No worries. Okay. We won't hold that against you. Gogo, your story. You are one of the top recruiters and agent attractors in eXp Realty. This is not an eXp Realty broadcast. This is all about giving back to real estate agents, helping them grow their businesses one way or the other, whichever way they want to do it, whether that's through being an entrepreneur, whether that's through being a real estate agent, a team leader, whatever you want to be, you're going to be able to get some growth ideas and gold nuggets from every broadcast we do. And there's been 309 of them. And here we are talking to you. So talk to me about, where'd you start? What's your story? I mean, why are you doing what you're doing now, but how'd you get there?
Oh gosh. Okay. I'm going to talk fast so we can actually get to some,
okay.
So I am originally from Transylvania, Romania. I moved to the US when I was 21 years old in 2003, all by myself. I didn't know a single human being. I met my husband in a bar 2 months later. 2 months after that, we were married. We are still very happily married 21 years later, or 20, how many years later, right? Yes, 21. 2 boys, they are 14 and 16. My oldest is type 1 diabetic. So if anybody's listening here, I know your pain. And it's 11/11, and I love angel numbers. Look at that. We can talk about that later in a little bit. Got licensed in real estate in 2011. So came to the US in 2003, get licensed in 2011. I was with Real Estate One for 7.5 years. I'm licensed in the state of Michigan. Then I moved over to Keller, and in 2018 in February, and then in 2018 in November. So same year. In 1 year, I was with 3 brokerages. So Real Estate One until 2018 February for eight years. And then from February to November with Keller, and then from November on in 2018 until today with EXP. I did join EXP with the idea. I already was a top producer, so I knew how to do production.
Right.
But when I walked out of the Real Estate One office, I had boxes full of trophies, and I can't send my kids to college. I can't use a down payment in a house for trophies, right? So I was like, okay, I need to like find a way how to make, how to have a retirement, right? Because my husband at the time worked for corporate America, and he had something to show for it for spending 20 years with the company. I spent a third of my life with the company, and I had nothing to show for it besides trophies. So I was like, okay, I need to have a retirement plan. I need to have some sort of a 401k. I need to have health insurance. And I found that here at EXP, made the switch. I did do it with the idea that I'm going to build a downline and organization, which today we are standing at 1,518 agents strong in the organization that we call the Team Gogo organization. We are in almost every state and in 6 different countries. And that allowed me, so being able to collect revenue share, now I no longer have to sell a home, right? So I don't have to go chase the next commission. So I know I have not sold a home, and that was my goal. 3 years ago, my goal was to sell 0 homes myself personally. And I reached my goal, and I reached it every single year since. So I'm super proud of that. People, I hear people sometimes saying, I'm like, yeah, but Gogo doesn't even sell real estate anymore. I'm like, that's the point.
That's right.
That's the whole point. The whole point is to get to that point that you don't have to, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at it. I mean, look, here's the thing. I mean, people get into real estate for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
I don't think, first of all, I don't think anyone gets out of high school or college or comes to America for that reason. You didn't come here to become a real estate agent, right?
I didn't even know what they were.
Yeah, right, exactly, right. And here's the thing: people, when they get to be a real estate agent, they're doing, well, I want to help people, or I want to make some money. It looks like a good thing to do, or I want to crush it. But they never think about when they get in the business to get out of the business. And that's one of the things that we're able to do now, where, years ago when I had my brokerage, I wasn't able to think about an exit plan, about not having to, well, the reason I sold my business was not to work with people that didn't want to work anymore, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we're here. So the freedom that we've been able to get from this business to after our business is really pretty cool. But when you did your business, I mean, you had to really work hard. You had to really build it. How did you build your business, Gogo?
Oh gosh, I mean, I don't want to say that I was really freaking good at it, but I was really freaking good at it, right? Like I always interview the best in anything that I want to do. I always go and interview the people who already been there, what I want to go. So I interviewed the top producers in our office, and I pretty much copied and pasted of what worked for them. They also gave me a very long list of things that I wasn't willing to do. So I've never bought a lead. So I've never been like a Zillow, whatever, premier agent, whatever that's called. I never door knocked. I never cold called. I don't know scripts. I don't role play. The idea of role play gives me the VBGB. So after I interviewed, I don't do that. After I interviewed all the top producers and I realized what it takes to make it, right? I was like, I'm not willing to do this. I can't afford to do this. Like I remember one agent at the time paying $4,000 a month for Zillow. And this is back in 2011. Like I just wanted to make $4,000. Like I didn't have $4,000 to pay for leads, right? But through my research, I figured out, okay, what I don't want to do, I'm allergic to beg people to work with me. Like I don't do scripts and role play. I couldn't afford to buy leads, and I wasn't willing to door knock. So I knew what I'm not going to do. And then I said, okay, then what am I willing to do to make it in the industry? And that's how social media came about for me, right? Because it was free, it was simple, it was my generational thing. I know how to push buttons, and that's how I built it all. But today, really what I really enjoy today is helping others to do the same, helping others to reach their goals. I love the quote that you can have absolutely anything in life, the more people you have to get what they want. So now being able to have financial freedom, it gives me time freedom to do what I love, which is helping others to do the same. So today I pretty much spend my time we own 9 different companies, each of which are tied a little bit into real estate. And my favorite is to helping others. So I teach a lot of the ways of how I built everything. And that's what I do today.
Okay. So, I work with a lot of agents. I coach a lot of agents. I'm the growth manager for the Align team here in New Jersey. And we do a lot of prospecting, lead generation, et cetera. And I do come across a lot of agents that say, well, I want social media to be the thing. I've met, okay, so for every 10 agents that I meet that say are going to do social media, one might be successful, right? Because they think if they post.
Let me stop you right there. For every 10 agents you meet that's going to do role play and cold call, how many of them are successful?
Okay, the question is the ones that do it or the ones that say they do it?
Exactly. Well, same in social media, like just to say you're going to do it versus actually doing it, you're not going to have results unless you actually do it. So let's compare it. Great. I would say the statistics is the same.
Okay, so let's break this down now. So with social, and this is okay. So this is going to help me a lot. Okay, honestly, a lot of the people I talk to on here and the guests I have, I'm very selfish, and I ask questions to help what I do so I can help others. Right. So my question is going to be, why did it work for Gogo, and why does it not work for others? How about that as a question?
It's super simple. It works for everybody. I mean, it's a system. It's buttons that you push. It works every time when you push a button. The difference is they don't push it often enough.
Does that mean posting? Does that mean commenting? What are we talking about here?
Exactly. So we're talking about posting. I post. So there's your feed and there's stories on almost every single platform, right? Your feed is what I call your storefront. It's when you go visit Gogo's Real Estate on Instagram, right? That is my feed. Everything that's on there, it's been on there. It's going to be on there. You can go back 10 years from now. You're going to see the same thing, right? That's your feed. That's your storefront. Now, your stories, when you go to someone's profile and you see their profile photo and you click their profile photo, it's going to take into their stories, which is only up there for 24 hours. So I post anywhere from 1 to 2 times a day into my feed, which is my storefront, right? You're going to see that forever. And I post anywhere from 15 to 25 times into my stories every single day, Dave.
I hear it. I hear it 100%.
27 times a day than I post.
I'm going to tell you that when I talk about this, when I'm working with agents, especially with social media, I bring up 3 people that are my examples. You're one of them. Kenny Trong is one, and Elias Astudo is one, right? Because when you go to their feeds and look at their stories, the little stories, you know how it's across the top, they're so small you can't tell what's next. So, okay, so stories. When I see Kenny do it, I'm going to use Kenny as the example, right? I mean, he's on his stories, he's posting anything and everything. He's out to dinner. He's taking a video of the restaurant. He's taking a picture of the people with him. He's taking a person eating food. Or is that all? Is that what it's about? Just
Absolutely, yes. So you know how Brent Gove says it best. I'm looking for the people who are looking for me.
Yep.
So because I don't cold call, I don't have to have the scripts and role play. I don't have to have objection handling, because the people who want to work with me, they literally raise their hands and say, hey, Gogo, we having a baby. Oops, the 2-bedroom, 2-bed is not going to cut it anymore. Can you help us, right? Oh, Gogo, I wish you were in North Carolina because we are, but whatever, we need a new house and we would love for you to be our realtor, right? And then I just respond, I'm like, well, I can, but I have amazing team Gogo agents. Let me introduce you to your local rock star. So a lot of my income is through referrals to other people, right? But with that being said, it's super easy to make money when you allow people to get to know you. When they get to know you, they find something in common with you. When they find something in common with you, they'll continue to follow you forever, right? Because they are your people. And then somewhere in average in the US, people move every 7 years, 7 miles from where they live in average today. So I know if I can entertain them for 7 years, if I can stay in front of them, somewhere between today and 7 years from now, they're going to buy or refer or sell.
Okay, so I want to give you proof of the pudding there. Okay.
Yes.
This broadcast has been around almost 6 years. Right. For 6 years, I didn't always have guests in the beginning. And as I had guests, it was kind of difficult sometimes to get people to come on. You know, every now and then it was someone that wanted to promote something or wanted to get on and have a piece of content and use it as a piece of content. And I will tell you lately, over the last few months, it has been a lot easier to book my guests. I don't get what is this all about. I just would love to. I get yeses, right? One of the things that I've always known about things that I do with social, I also send out birthday greetings every day, birthday videos, right? I do that every day. I will go to an event and someone, without question, at least one, if not many, many more, come up to me and thank me for the birthday videos. Most of these people, they're just people that I have a relationship on social, right? So that is proof of the pudding. You said 7 years. So if you can stay in front of them for 7 years, so it's not an overnight sensation, Gogo.
Oh, I wish it was.
So okay,
yes, it is. It is. It's a lot of overnights. It's about 13 years of 365 overnights.
great. I love the way you put that. But okay, so let's talk about starting out though. Okay, so you said that what you did was you interviewed the top producers in your office, and you decided what you were willing to do and what you weren't willing to do. So what you weren't willing to do was door knocking, cold calls, all that crap, right? I use the word crap loosely, so don't worry about that, everybody who's going to want to hit me for that, because I actually train and coach that stuff. So how did you know it was going to work? Was it just that, you know what, I can't do that, but I can do this and this can work really well? Is that what you did?
Exactly. I mean, if I had $1 every time people made fun of me for taking the next picture, the next selfie, I would be a millionaire, billionaire all over again. So I went so against industry quote, whatever that's called in English, right? That people looked at me like I'm literally an alien. Like I came from another planet and I lost my marbles, and I think that shit, excuse my French, is going to work. Like we were talking 2011 when I was the first one to have a business page on Facebook in Livingston County, Michigan, right? So this is not like when everybody had an Instagram account. Like they didn't even know what a business page was, right? So I just knew inside, I'm a firm believer that God doesn't give us ideas that are not meant for us. And I also believe that I have the skills that it takes to turn that idea into a reality if God gave it to me. So every time I'm faced with a good, great idea, I know I'm going to succeed, because if I didn't have the skills for that idea, God would have given that idea to you, Dave, or to somebody else who does have it. God doesn't waste ideas, right? He gives it to the people who have what it takes to make it a reality. But what God also gives us is a choice. Are you going to take action, or you're not going to take action? So there is so many good ideas or great ideas that were wasted. I knew that if social media is the avenue for me, then that's the avenue for me. Super simple. So I just posted. Originally, you don't really have what to post about, right? Because you have no transactions, you have no clients, you have no idea what you're talking about. You don't even know what a difference is between a conventional loan and an FHA loan. Like I was like, what? There are different loans. Like, what do you even mean? I didn't even know how to open a lockbox. I'm like, what's a lockbox? Nobody talked about it in real estate school. Like, what is that on the door? How do we go in? I literally had to call the broker, be like, there is a lock on the door. Like, they don't teach you that in real estate school.
No, they don't. No.
So much of the everyday that actually required, and this is back when we used to have lockbox, guys, by the way. And we used to fax offers. I used to collect EMVs, like, good old days of real estate. So this is back in that day. So I just started videoing of what I'm learning. So I would go and have lunch. So this is my number one gift to you. Take it and print money with it. Literally, I had someone tell me, never eat alone. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you are going to eat lunch today, right? Yes. You're going to have coffee today? Yes. Okay. Take someone with you. So then I wasn't busy. Anyway, I wasn't showing houses or listing houses. So I was like, okay, I had nothing but time to caffeinate myself. So I would go and I couldn't afford lunch at the time, right? Because lunch was like $14 plus a tip plus my lunch. I couldn't necessarily afford it every single day. So I opted for coffees. So I used to take people out for coffee. I would have a 9 o'clock coffee and a 10 o'clock coffee after I dropped my kids off at daycare every single morning. And I would invite an industry specialist. So I would go first through like 5 to 10 local lenders. Then I would go through 5 to 10 local title companies, 5 to 10 local moving companies, 5 to 10 local, whatever, inspectors, appraisers, name it, right? Anybody that's tied to a real estate transaction, I would Google who's the best in Livingston County, and I would invite them out for coffees, and I would put them one at 9, one at 10, one at 9, one at 10, one at 9, one at 10, and I was caffeinated out of my mind. But I learned something from every single one of them. And then as the meetings were over, so actually as the meetings were going, I would take a picture of them, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just had coffee with Joe Schmo from, First Community Mortgage, right? And this is what I learned today. Did you know that, I remember the first time I learned that veterans that were released with like hero status, I can't remember what it's called, with like good release, right? They can actually not pay taxes. I was like, hold on a minute. What do you mean? What do you mean that they don't? Why don't people talk about this? Do the veterans even know?
No, they
right?
don't.
No, they don't. Right. So then I started talking about these things. Did you know that if you're a veteran released with honorary release, that's the word. If you're a veteran with honorary release, you actually don't have to pay property taxes. If you need to learn more about that, just contact me. This is what I learned today from Joe Schmo, right? So literally, I would tag Joe, the lender. I would then give something of value, of knowledge, right? That I literally just learned it 3 minutes ago, but I just created content for myself. Then I posted. And every time you create content and the information comes through your lips, automatically makes you an expert. Because I just reiterated the information I learned 3 minutes ago. But now I'm an expert in the subject, right? Because they learned it from me. So now they're going to reach out to me. But when I tag Joe, he's going to share that, right? So now I'm on Joe's profile as the expert. So now Joe's people is going to reach out to me. So it's just never ending. And of course, I always tag the coffee shop too. So then now the coffee shop shared the fact that me and Joe had coffee there. Joe shared my video because we just had coffee together, or the picture, right? And the next thing I know, I'm on the coffee shop's profile and I'm on Joe's profile. So they're spreading the word for my brand that I wasn't even existing necessarily. And I would do that over and over and over again. And from every expert, I learned something new. Every new knowledge that I learned made me even smarter and even better in the industry. And I never had to ever negotiate a commission because they knew what they're getting when they work with me.
Yeah. So the first question I would have come up with before you got through the whole thing, and I want to ask it anyways, is if you're having coffee with 10 mortgage people, 10 title people, 10 inspectors, do they all expect business from you?
Yes and no. So the reason why I did that, A, to get knowledge, but B, to get to see who they are and how they work. Because in order for someone to gain my business, they have to meet me where I meet them. I'm not expecting anything in return. Like if I'm not giving you something, I'm not expecting you in return. But I'm giving you $9 million worth of business. If I'm feeding your family, I'm expecting for you to feed mine. Right? So that's how I looked at every relationship. And I want to look at their work ethic. So if someone's the type of lender that works Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and here I am showing houses over the weekend and I need a new pre-approval letter, and you're not going to answer me until Monday afternoon by the time you got through your 1,900 emails from the weekend, and that house sold by then, guess who's not my lender?
Yep, 100%.
Me, right? So if you're costing me money, we are not in business together. So that's why I did it. I did it to A, get smarter, B, get to know who the best in the industry, and also to get to see their personalities and their work style, so I can decide who I want to work with.
It's so important to do what you did. Forget about social media, but to meet with the people and to have conversations. And what you just said, if I'm feeding your family, you should be feeding my family. And that's how they didn't. That's how you actually put together who's going to do what, right? So I've looked at a lot of your content as I typically do anyway, but I really studied some stuff today and over the week because I knew we were going to have a conversation. So one of the things that really stuck with me is the Gogopreneur end of it, right? Where you've got an Instagram that says Gogopreneur, and talk to me about that. Talk to me about being an entrepreneur from being a real estate agent, professional, and real estate entrepreneur, because that's something that's really important and people want to see. A lot of people call themselves entrepreneurs, but they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Talk to me about Gogopreneur and how it got to where it is today.
So that's kind of funny because I was on a plane and sitting next to someone, right? I get upgraded all the time to first class now because of all my points, right? Like I flew 24 times last year and I bought one airplane ticket and I flew pretty much on first class like 90% of the time. So I'm sitting next to this person and he looked like an entrepreneur himself, like somebody, right? And he asked me, what do you do? And I'm like, what a great question. What do I do? Because I don't want to say I don't feel like I can say I'm a realtor anymore, right? Because I haven't sold a house in 3 years. Yes, I'm a licensed realtor and I'm very active, but I have a team in Michigan. I have a very massive organization and downline at EXP. So I was like, what am I? And then it made me realize, literally today I do so many different things, and our money, right? Our income comes from so many different sources that it really made me stop in my track to realize, hold on, I'm really an entrepreneur. I'm not a realtor anymore, right? Like I am, but I'm not. So right. That's where it came from. So it made me realize I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And then when this TV show / radio show / podcast opportunity came about, I was like, because we are on TV, radio, and podcast, by the way. It's called Gogopreneur. You can find it everywhere. Also on Roku under your home TV if you want to watch it on television, but on every podcast under the name of Gogopreneur. And really, I was like, okay, I want to build something that is more entrepreneurial, because like I get asked today questions like, what do you do with your money? Questions like, how do you hire your VAs? Questions like, how much do you actually work? What your schedule looks like, right? So how many investments? What's your favorite investment type? Like all kinds of questions like that is really not just tied to real estate anymore. It's not how to sell the next house, right? So I named the show Gogopreneur. Gogo, of course, is the play on, happens to be my name, but the idea is go, like keep going, right? Entrepreneur. And I now interview people that I look up to and they have achieved something where I want to go. And it's kind of like a meaningful conversation, but also in a kind of like this, what we are doing here, but also breaking down specific subjects and going in detail and almost giving like step-by-step instructions of how to do that specific thing. Right. Also, I'm very big on mindset. I would not be where I'm at today if it's not because of the mindset that I have. And also because of that, I study the people who have achieved something, their mindset, and what are the thoughts that they have, what allowed them to get to where they at. Because I'm a firm believer, no matter how many employees you have, or what specific skills you have, or what benefits you have, or how much money you have, if you don't have the right 6 inches between your ear, the opportunity can literally stare you in the face and you're not going to take action.
Did that take guts for you to do?
No. I mean, I hate to make it sound that simple, but for me, it takes me back to that God conversation, that if I have an opportunity in front of you, I literally look at it that God meant it for me. And if he meant it for me, God doesn't make mistakes. So all I need to do is take action, go build it, and call it a day.
So there's 3 things I want to talk about really quickly, really important. We'll go with the last thing you just said, God, right? One of the things that I've noticed in life is that there's a lot of people out there that, they're a little down on themselves, and they say, I've been hoping for this and praying for that. And personally, I have figured out finally and found out that, we can pray and we can talk and we can hope, but if we're not taking any action, we're not going to get anywhere. And the reason I mention that is not to tell people you got to take action when you set a goal. No, I'm saying what you ask for and what you want is right in front of you, right? So there's this old stupid joke that I tell a lot of times where this guy's in church and he's praying every day for months and months and months. Let me win the lottery. Please, God, let me win the lottery. And after a few months, God comes out and says, hey, pal, could you do me a favor? Could you buy a ticket? And the reason I say that is we hope and pray, literally pray. There's some people that say prayers, and there's some people that pray, right? If we're not going to listen for the answer, don't do it. If we're not going to watch and wait and look for the answer, don't do it, right?
I don't pray for anything anymore because I believe that God has even better ideas than I could come up with in my cute little human mind, right? So what I pray for is that for me to see the opportunity and to take action, right? Yes. I want God to give me whatever he has in store for me and to make sure that I take action.
And, I mentioned you talked about 7 years, be in front of them 7 years. I talked about what's going on with what I've been doing. And I got another story really quickly about a gentleman by the name of Ryan Stewman, who most people have probably heard of in our business or in the mortgage business. He said he did podcasts for 7 years. Nothing happened until one day something hit. And if you know anything about Ryan Stewman and who he is, that's how he became what he is today, because he never gave up. He kept going. For me, truth be told, I am 66 years old. I have not felt as good as I do today as it ever. Simply because I've kind of my mind finally opened, and I saw that all this hard work is paying off. And it's got nothing to do with notoriety. It's got nothing to do, honestly, with no ego. And it has nothing to do with money. It has with, for me, it was always me appreciating myself enough to keep going to that next goal, because I never set the next goal. And I want everybody to remember that, look, if you want something, it's going to be right in front of you. You're not seeing it. Would you agree with all that stuff I just said?
That's why I said I don't pray for things, because thank God that God doesn't listen to all of our prayers, right? Like sometimes our ideas are not really good ideas, right?
Yeah.
And like I pray for ideas that God meant for me. So I pray for the eyes to see it and the grit to take action, right? So whatever God meant for me, I'm like, just let me see it when it's right in front of me and force me to take action.
Exactly.
But
the next thing I wanted to hit is, and I really want people to know this, that you did it and I did it too, with video. I mean, you had people mocking you and laughing at you and saying, "What are you, crazy?" I'll never forget when I started doing video. I'm going to say 15 years ago, and when you could post it on Facebook, it was before Instagram. I would do live videos almost every day. And I remember very, very distinctly going to a broker event at night that night. And a couple of people came up to me and said, "Hey, I saw your video today." And they started laughing. And I looked them straight in the eye and I said, "Yeah, but you watched the whole thing, didn't you?" And these are people that some of them I actually do business with today, which is really interesting. And so I want everybody to know that don't be afraid of anything. Take the fear. Here's what I want you to do. Your fear is a habit, right? Your fear is a habit. I want you to turn the habit upside down, because when you turn it upside down, it looks completely different. And it's not fear anymore. Just a theory.
Yeah, I usually say that you can offend me, because in order for you to offend me, I actually have to care about your opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I
do you
mean,
the only time someone's opinion matters if you give value to it.
right. And most of the times it has no value, because number one, they're probably saying what they're saying because they don't have the guts to do it, or they don't know how, and they're not going to ask. What I did was, I'm going to figure out how to do this. I'll never forget talking to a mortgage guy that I used, who's still a friend of mine today, who talked to me about Facebook and what you had to do with Facebook. And I didn't just think about it. I just said, I'm going, right?
Yeah.
When Facebook ads came out, I hired Grant Wise, one of the top people in Facebook ads ever. I hired him to help me. Today, one of my best friends. Now, that all has to do with another thing that you mentioned called mindset, right? I just talked about habit of fear being a habit, making the cold calls. That's, a feeling I always talk to people, you get a feeling in here where you don't want to do it. You should do it depending on what your thing is, right? Your thing was never that. And I get that. It's the same with doing the video. It's the same with putting yourself out there. Well, I'm going to have a personal page and I'm going to have a business page, and I'm not going to let anybody see my personal stuff. What do you think about that mindset?
So that's what I have. So I don't mix business with personal.
Okay.
Business and business page, and I do personal and personal. So I actually hide my personal Facebook page, because that's when my children grow up. That's where my parents get to see their grandkids, right? Since I live on another continent, and where I get to see my childhood friends who speak two other languages. They might post in Hungarian or Romanian, right? So I do personal and personal. In my opinion, if you don't take your business seriously enough to handle it as a business, then people are not going to take it seriously enough. So even though on my business page, you can still see snippets of my life, right? So I mix in both of those things, but with a limit, right? So where on my personal page, you're going to see a lot of my children. On my business page, you're probably going to see my children on Mother's Day and on Christmas in our matching PJs. That's about it. Other than that, business is business, personal is personal.
Right. And I get that. And that's the reason I brought that up, is because knowing how you did it, knowing what I see on your business page, right, is there's stuff in there about you that shows that you are a human being.
Exactly. So it's not just like, hey, just sold, just listed, here's the key to the next, here's our closing picture. Like, nobody cares that you close another house. Nobody. You're the only one who cares, right? But allowing them to get to see what your work ethic has allowed you to live, then people will want to do the same. And then we'll ask you how you did it.
So we talked a little bit just now about mindset. We talked about, the fear of doing stuff. We talked about, a higher power of God helping you with. How does all that tie in to mindset? And is there a journey you can go on, or a path you can follow, or a process or a system to have a mindset of, I'm just going to do this? Because as well as I do, there's a lot of people out there that, and it's human nature, where they just don't do the work, or they just don't want to do the work. And they're just like, the habit is not doing the work, and you have to change the habit. What's the mindset? Is there a mindset shift? Is there a change? What is that?
Oh gosh, it's such a loaded question. Where do we start? So to actually see what you are doing every day, I used to use in my team.
Oh, lost you. You there?
Oh, there we are. Okay. I think it was
Just
tracker.
lost you.
It's a document. Mike, can you hear me now?
We got you back. Yep, go ahead. Well, your team used to use. That's where we lost you.
Yeah, so my team still uses it to this day, which we call a greatness tracker. It's a document that they have to fill out every single day. It's multiple steps to their day. And in the end of the week, I get a full picture of what they have been doing, what they haven't been doing, and it stares them right in the face, right? Because if they do everything that's on the greatness tracker, they should have 3 leads by the end of the week, easily with their eyes closed, right? Like 3 closings, not leads, sorry. And so it's super simple. I recommend to everyone to do that. If you're a Go-Getter member, it's gogettermorewinners.com. All of our trackers that I'm talking about, it's right on there.
What do you call it again? What do you call it again, Gogo?
The greatness tracker.
The what tracker? I couldn't get it.
Greatness.
Greatness tracker. I'm sorry. Thank you very much.
The reason why is because I want, the saying is that you don't work a day in your life when you love what you do.
Yep.
Okay. So the greatness tracker, at first you do everything. You do cold calls, you do send out postcards, you attend open houses, you do social media posts, you do face-to-faces, you do break breads, you do it all at first, right? So you do everything at first for 90 days to figure out where does your greatness lies. Because you're going to realize that most of your leads going to come from two sources over and over again. And for me, it was face-to-faces and open houses. Why? Because open houses are face-to-faces.
Right.
So it all took back to the face-to-faces. But where did I generate the traffic to the open houses? And where did I get the people to meet them face-to-face? Because I didn't know anyone, really all tied back to social media. So if I stopped doing social media, I would have not built the relationship with the people. Then I actually then got to face-to-face and then close them, right? So it all tied back to social media, but my greatness lies in face-to-faces. I knew that if I can get in front of someone, I can close them. Or just please get me in the door, right? So that's the greatness tracker. It forces you to do everything first, but then it's going to stare you right in the face where your own greatness lies. The reason why is because what our greatness is, it comes so natural to us. It's a God-given talent that we don't even realize that. We don't even realize that we are really good in face-to-faces, or we are really good at whatever, right? And one of the ways of actually doing this, it's a very cute exercise. I want you guys all to text your 10 friends, or the 10 people that are close to you, maybe your mom, maybe your best friend, your cousins, whoever's in your life, and they're like your 10 solid people, and they have known you and they really know you. Text them and just ask them this question. Don't give them a heads up, just out of the blue, and just text them, what am I good at? And you're going to see their responses back, and you're going to be like, whoa, I didn't even realize I'm good at that, right? Because when we are good at something naturally, it comes so natural, then we just take it at like, well, this is what I do every day. Like same with social media for me. It comes so easy. It's just what I do every day, right? But to actually know what you're really good at, what other people see in you, just ask the 10 closest people to you and they will tell you. And it's super cute exercise. And you're going to be smiling, giggle every time when you read those texts. You're like, oh, I didn't realize I'm good at that. But that's true. I'm really good at that. And then just stay in your lane and do more of that. So that's why initially we do the greatness tracker to figure out what is our greatness. And eventually we just do to stay in our lane and then count our leads.
That's really cool. I mean, as far as doing that and getting that out there and knowing how to do stuff. But you also, what's really cool is that you never bought a lead, never cold called, but you're training that because to see what people are going to be good at, right? It's what works for them. And I really like that because, as I said, I work with a lot of different agents, and it comes up that, well, I want to do social media, I want to do open houses, and I want to do this. And
I mean, imagine if in the 1,500 agents that I have in the Team Gogo organization, if we only thought social media, I would probably lose 90% of them. Right? Not everybody wants to do it. Not everybody can afford to do it or has the time for it. Some people just want to go hold one open house a weekend and get a buyer from it and work with the buyer and collect one commission and call it a day. Right? So I want everyone to figure out what they love doing and then just do that. So if that happens to be cold calling, we have actually a scripts and role play call every single morning at 7:30. I'm just not the one who's teaching it because I can't teach something I've never done. Right. So then I have some of the best in the industry, who's my sponsor, Curtis Shewell, and he teaches scripts and role play and objection handling because he knows it like the back of his hand, and his scripts have scripts. I just say whatever I want, and that's how I always run business.
Well, yeah. Okay. So you say whatever you want. That's your script. Here, I want everybody to understand that a script is a script is a script. It's basically a guide.
Yeah.
So, and what I tell people is
the difference for me is that for me, it's always, and this is just a skill that I don't have, right? For me, it's very hard to learn other people's words. So for me, I would always sound scripted, no matter how many times I tried it, if they are not written in my words and the way I speak English. So the only way I could use the script, if I would take that and then massage it into my communication style and maybe then, but even if I have to learn, sit there and read it and memorize it, my brain just doesn't work like that. I would be out of business today if I would have had to learn, if that was the only way of selling real estate.
I get exactly what you mean, because scripts are very hard to pick up and to do. And it takes a very, very long time to be able to take the shit out of the script and for have it to sound like Gogo, to have it sound like Dave, whatever it is, right? So that's why, I learned something very, very important this week, oddly enough, from a newer agent. And, we have calls a couple times a week with the newer agents I'm working with. And I want to know what they're doing and how they're doing it, what their struggles have been. Because that's the first question I ask. What got you off the phone? What was your struggle this week? How can we help you solve your struggles? And one person said, I'm starting to get a grip on, and it was Olivia from Chicago. One of the things I'm getting a better grip on, she said, was being able to communicate to people I'm talking to so they feel free to talk to me, which is really cool. If you think about it, it's actually it's always our point as coaches, as teachers, as trainers, to get across to people that, that script. First of all, if you say it like everybody else says it, you sound like shit, right? If you say it like yourself, or as Olivia put it, I want to get them to be comfortable talking to me. So that's how I have to learn how to talk. Does that make sense to you, Gogo?
Oh, absolutely.
Isn't that cool? I thought that was really great. And I think I learned how to put it out there and how to say it rather than try to figure out, well, you know what? You can't go out there looking for the money. We hear this all the time, right? You can't talk to a fit for sale by owner, like you want to help them, because they're not going to believe you anyway, right? You just want a listing for them. You just want to make money. So Gogo, you're a new agent, right? And you want to really break into this business. And instead of like not getting a closing or making money for 6 to 9 months, how do you get paid quickly? What are you going to do?
Oh gosh, I would probably start with my Facebook. Well, first of all, I would create a Facebook business page. I would link it to my Instagram business page. Then I would go onto LinkedIn and create my business page on every platform. Then I would go on Google My Business and create my business, right? After I have all of that and my business is official, right? Then you have links to send your people to, right? So number one for me is super important for the agents to have links to look official. I did that through funnels. I actually have 3 to come a couple words for. I would turn the camera, but I probably knock off some things from the table here so you guys can see it, which means that I have built at least 3 funnels that have sold over 7 digits every single funnel, right? So over millions of dollars. So with that being said, and we actually build now those, you can find the link of your funnels for you on my profile on gogobethke.com, where we actually build these funnels for the agents: buyer funnel, seller funnel, and agent attraction funnel. So it's on gogobethke.com. It's super important for you to look professional. So that would be the first thing that I would do. As soon as I have my buyer funnel, seller funnel, and my agent attraction funnel, then I would start doing Facebook videos. So look at your personal Facebook account, right? And all of the profiles that you have on your LinkedIn and all of the connections that you have, right? Then I would start sending personalized video at least 10 to 15 a day, every single day. So I would start with A's and then B's and then C's and then D's, right? And I would go to, let's say, Jessica Smith. And let's say Jessica is another mom of a child that you met at drop-off, right? And you say, hey, Jessica, this is Gogo. I just wanted to reach out to you. It was so cool meeting you on Tuesday at drop-off. Our kids are the same age. I was wondering if you would like to have a play date. Did I sell your real estate? No, I did not. I just invited Jessica over to a play date. What is it going to cost me? Nothing, but I get to know Jessica. So I'm in a people business, right? In that conversation during the play date, do you think I'm going to ask Jessica what she does for a living?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think she's going to ask me in return what I do for a living? Absolutely.
Yeah.
When she's going to go home, do you think she's going to think about that? And then 2 days later, she's like, guess what, Gogo? My aunt is moving to town and she needs a condo. She has 3 cats. Can you help her? Would love to. Right? And then on and on and on and on every single day, I would be sending videos. And then when I finally developed that relationship, so when Jessica says my aunt is moving to town, that's when I would send her my bio link, right? Like, oh, your aunt is looking for a condo. Here's my buyer's link. Have her watch the video so she gets familiar with who I am. And the link to my calendar is right there. Have her just pick a spot in my calendar and I'm ready to go when she is. Right? So now, not only then I had a very nonchalant play date with Jessica, I didn't sell her anything. When she reached out to me, I looked professional because I already had my link, where to send her a link where she can jump into my calendar.
And there you have it.
Understand you guys got. I can give you ideas until the cows come home. And most importantly, what we realized, Dave, this last month I was traveling. So I went month to teach everything that I know to our agents, right? And then so the last month when I was traveling in April, my team, I was like, you guys need to come up with a training because usually I attend every single training and I teach, right? So I'm like, okay, I can teach because I'll be gone a whole month of April. Can you guys come up with a training? So what they did is they came up with a 4-week series of teaching our agents how to build their own funnels, how to build your buyer funnel, seller funnel, and agent interaction funnel. Week 3, how many agents of the 1,500 do you think showed up, Dave?
1,000.
2, not 2,000. 2 agents showed up to the training. Why? Because building funnels is freaking hard. And on week 2, and week 1 and week 2, they realized what it actually takes. Do they all want the funnels? Yes, they do. Do they want to build it? No, they don't. Because we are not tech people, right? So what that taught me and what made me realize, hold on, I haven't actually built any of the funnels myself. My team does for me. I come up with the concept, but they build it for me. I haven't actually built the funnel myself. So then what we came up with, solution to a problem that we didn't know a problem that we had, is to actually build these funnels for the people. So if you're listening and you're a realtor that you need these funnels built for you, go to my page and then my team will build it for you. We do about 20 funnels per month. We pause it when the 20th person purchased for the month, and then we reopen it when we are ready to build 20 more funnels. So if anybody needs it from your listeners or your team, my team is more than happy to build it for them.
Okay, so let's talk about, just got a minute left or so. I want to talk about your agent attraction process, and in 30 seconds or less,
Yeah.
just talk to me about your agent attraction, your recruiting process. Why has it been so successful for you?
Well, again, it's going to take you back to funnels, right? Because that's everything that I do. I want to have a link where I can send people. So think of it this way. Everything I've done it on social media, right? So I've done it on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, name it. What are these platforms good about? They're good about generating traffic. I didn't have to wake you up today to check your Facebook. You didn't have to wake me up today to check my Instagram. We all just do it. So these platforms are super good at getting eyeballs. Our job on there as marketers is to take them off of those platforms and have them somewhere to go. So by the time I joined EXP, I had about 30-some thousand followers. Today I have over 80,000. So with those 30-some thousand, I'm like, okay, where am I going to send them? Like if I say, hey, come join me at EXP, then click what? Go where? What's the plan? Right? So I have like, okay, I need to build a funnel. I need to build a funnel where I say, hey, what I say anything about, let's say I say, hey guys, did you know that EXP have health insurance? If you are with a brokerage and you don't have health insurance and you have a type 1 diabetic child like I do, maybe you want to come over, enjoy our benefits of our health insurance policies, right? And then be an EXP agent, click the link below. They click the link, they go to my why not EXP? Sorry, I call it Partner With Me page. So they go to my Partner With Me page. There are 9 videos for them to watch. Under the 9th video, there is a button to get into my calendar. It says right in there, you must watch all 9 videos, because I'm not repeating myself of explaining what EXP is because you didn't watch it. If you didn't watch it, that means you're not serious. If you're not serious, don't waste my time, right? So they watch all 9 videos. They jump into my calendar. On that call, on the Zoom call, just like this, you and me are conversating. I pretty much answer all of their questions. I handle their objections. And then I send them back to the same page to sign up. So they go to step 1 and step 2. And that's the exact page. So when I said earlier to build your funnels, this is the exact funnel I've been using for the last 5.5 years that we are building now for everybody else. And that's it. And then it's rinse and repeat. You make a post, you send them to the link, they watch the videos, they get into your calendar, they go back to sign up. And then you make another post, they click the link, they watch the videos, they jump into your calendar, and they sign up. It's that simple.
So one of the fears or one of the blocks that people have with agent attraction is, well, some of them don't care. They just want numbers. That's the old brokerage model. And I'm done with that. I'm sure you are too. How are you supporting your team? I mean, how are you supporting this huge number, right? So it's important to be able to support, but Dave, I've got nothing to recruit to. I don't have a support system to help people. If I bring in 5 people, I could probably help them, but I can't bring in 50 or 500. What's the answer to that question?
Or 1,500. So again, there's another product I created. So when I became really good at agent attraction, people started asking me how I do this madness. And then I built gogosbootcamp.com. So if you really want to get good at agent attraction, all step to the process is gogosbootcamp.com. So what I did initially, I just thought how to attract, right? Just like you did, of how to attract, like here's a funnel, this is what I do. But the work really starts after they join. I was like, oh, hold on. Then we need to onboard them. Then we need to train them. Then we need to give them this and that. Then we give them the whole Google Drive. Then we have weekly trainings. Then we celebrate their birthdays. Then I was like, whoa, like a whole other madness, a whole other room opens up after they join you. So I wish I could really explain this in 30 seconds, because if it was that good, everybody would be really good at it, right? But on gogosbootcamp.com is where they get the full picture. It's over 240 videos or so explaining the process from start to finish. But I'm huge on agent celebration. What gets celebrated gets duplicated. So we have a whole section on agent celebration. We celebrate our top producer, top agent tractor, our icons of the month. I call my agent, just like you said, you send the card. I call my agents or you send the video, sorry. I call my agent and I sing them happy birthday, all the agents that I personally sponsored. Now, I don't have the bestest voice for singing. It's more like a talking voice, right? But I like to torture them. And beautiful voice on their birthday. It's really just the idea that you remember them, that they're not just a number, that you took the time of the day to celebrate your agent. So I'm huge on everything that you were mentioning. And if they really want to learn it, I mean, I wish I could explain it in 20 seconds, but gogosbootcamp.com would be the place to learn it.
So Gogo, we've got your Instagram up. We've got your website, gogobethke.com. We also have gogosbootcamp.com on there. We changed that. I want to thank you for everything, for being on today. I know we're short on time. I just want to say that we've got Bethke coming on next week. You're going to learn a lot from Bethke. Bethke is the best. She is fantastic, and I can't wait to have Bethke on. And again, as I said, thank you so much for coming on. So I've got two more things really quickly. One quick question is, Gogo, how do I help you grow your business?
Oh, you just did already.
There you go. Love that. And last but not least, you got one 4 years ago. We got the new and improved version.
Oh, thank you so much. I can't wait. I gave you the address, so please ship.
Yeah, it's gonna come out in the next week or so. Everybody, thank you so much for coming on. This has been Real Estate Talk TGIF. We are our timestamp is May 3rd, 2024. Thanks so much, Gogo. Just stay on for a second as we go off. See you, everybody. Nelson,
get him.
Okay. Nelson, you there? We lost him. All right. Anyway, we're going to.
Do you need to pause the live? Awesome.